the one thing they did consistently was bloodletting. There were 4 more sessions of bloodletting, removing well over 80 ounces of Washington's blood. To put that in context, they removed 40 to 50% of his blood in one day. Washington grew weaker throughout the day, and by that evening he said to his doctors, "I feel myself going. I thank you for your attentions, and I pray that you take no more troubles about me. Let me go off quietly. I cannot last long." He died a little after 10 p.m. What exactly did he suffer from? This is still debated in medical circles today. But we do know that losing half his blood that fateful day was anything but helpful. And, amazingly enough, Washington himself was a big proponent and was advocating to the physicians that this needed to be done. You may ask, how could someone who was instrumental in the creation of the Constitution, who was the first president of a system of government that has stood for over 200 years and is a model for a modern democracy, and who was, by all accounts, a brilliant man, believe in something this nutty? How could physicians be blind to the fact that most of the time they were doing way more harm than good with the method of bloodletting for centuries? This is merely one example of a belief or approach becoming the acceptable and best way to do something, even though in hindsight it is obvious that it is not. Let's explore a few more examples of rather peculiar methods and beliefs that manifested themselves broadly. We really believed this? The world is flat. For thousands of years, it was a widespread belief that the world was flat, and that if you went to the edge of it, you would fall off. Aristotle was one of the earliest to dispute this belief and provide evidence against it. He simply stated that when one travels south, the constellations appear higher above the horizon, which would not be possible unless the earth was round. But more than 1,500 years later, the belief in a flat earth was still widely accepted as true. Cocaine cough drops. There are many beliefs that society has held, even in the more recent past, that are a bit shocking when viewed through the lens of today. Nowhere is there a more jolting example than the use of cocaine as medicine for kids' everyday ailments. We are not making this up. The medicine not only promised to relieve pain, but also promised to provide a lift in mood. We can just see the dialogue between parents. "Honey, Annabelle seems to be a bit cranky and not herself today." "No worries. Just slip her one of the cocaine drops in the cupboard, and she will be off." Smoking. Smoking is probably the most well-known example of where our beliefs have changed profoundly over the past 50 years. U.S. Surgeon General Luther Terry's 1964 Advisory Committee report on smoking and health provided the catalyst for a sea change in our societal perception of smoking. Prior to that turning point, our attitude toward smoking was very different. Smoking was socially desirable, did not raise meaningful health concerns, and was as common as drinking a glass of wine with dinner is today. You could hardly find a movie star or musician who wasn't holding a cigarette or promoting a brand for that matter. Smoking was so socially acceptable that many advertisements touted the health benefits of smoking and frequently used doctors as pitchmen. Soda. In the past few years, we have become much more conscious about carbonated soft drinks and their impact on our health, especially their adverse effect on children, including the rise of childhood obesity and diabetes. Today, a number of cities have implemented a special tax on sugary beverages in an attempt to curtail consumption. The link between sugar and childhood obesity is well established these days. But that was not the case at all a few decades ago. Here is the actual text in an ad. "This young man is 11 months old, and he is..."